Hi guys, and welcome back to the Student Switchboard. Somehow today is the 1st of June. Don't know how that happened, but because of that I realised that graduation is going to be coming up over the next few weeks, so I thought that I would film a video just giving you a few tips and pointers to take on board for your graduation day. Tip number 1, this is a really obvious one, but make sure that you have actually registered to graduate. That's something that I think we don't really think about all that often. You just kind of assume that it's going to happen. But depending on your university and your course, you may have to fill out some sort of online form to make sure that you're actually registered to graduate. So if that is the case, do make sure that you've done that. If you haven't done that, do speak to some of your classmates and see what they've done, where they've accessed that kind of information, because it's really important that you have that done in advance. In addition to that, you want to make sure that you have hired your gown and your robes and whatever kind of stuff that you need for the day in advance, so that's something that you can probably do online. Again, that will probably depend on your university, but that's kind of information that you will be able to access on your university website, or a lecturer or tutor I'm sure would be more than happy to point you in the right direction when it comes to that stuff. So having got that sort of admin stuff out of the way, getting that done in advance, let's talk about the graduation day itself. Now, first things first, this is going to be a long day. It's a brilliant day and such a happy and momentous sort of day because it's the culmination of all this hard work that you've put in over the years. But it is a long day. Most of the graduation ceremonies last quite a long time because generally it's not just your course who are graduating, it's everybody in your year group, and so that is a lot of students. So depending on the course and depending on the uni, you could be in a graduation ceremony that lasts something like 3.5 hours. So it's a long time. Keeping that in mind, you want to make sure that you have had something to eat and something to drink before you have gone in, and also that you've gone to the toilet, because you're probably not going to be able to get up to go and pee in the middle of the ceremony. You probably would rather not be doing that anyway. Even if you're feeling a bit nervous, do make sure that you have had something to eat before you go in, just so that you're not sitting there with an empty stomach for 3 hours. On top of that, make sure you've had some stuff to drink, because graduating in the summer, unless you're living here in Scotland where at the moment the weather cannot make up its mind what it's doing. I'm looking outside just now, it is windy and grey and weird, and it's the 1st of June and I'm not happy about it. But yeah, if you are living somewhere where it is warm, which would be such a lovely thing to experience, then do keep in mind that the graduation hall is probably going to be quite stuffy, so do make sure that you've had plenty of water before you go in, just to keep you hydrated throughout the ceremony. Next thing, if you have a bag with you that has like a lot of stuff in it, so if you're going maybe directly from your graduation out for dinner and you've brought a change of clothes, or even just your bag with like your purse and your phone and that kind of thing in it, do make sure that you've got someone to leave that with, so like a parent or sibling or boyfriend or girlfriend or whoever it is that's coming to watch you graduate. If you have a bag, make sure that you can leave that with them, so go and find them before you go in, because you're not necessarily going to be put back in the seats that you were sitting in at the start of the ceremony after you have gone up to graduate. So once you go up and kind of get sort of tapped on the head by the person who's running the ceremony or whatever it is that happens in your ceremony, and they've read out your name and all that stuff and you've picked up your degree, when you go back down to sit down, you're not necessarily going to be put back in the section that you were sitting in before, so you might get put in the same row but on the opposite side of the room. So you can't take your bag up with you to graduate. Can you imagine? You've got your lovely graduation gown on and you're all sort of ready and you've got your handbag slung over your arm or shoulder. Not going to happen. So you don't really want to leave that sitting under a chair somewhere in the middle of the hall where it might be difficult to get back to. So best thing to do, as horrible as it is to be parted from your phone for that time, it is probably best to just leave that with your parents or friends or whoever it is that's coming to watch you. Just leave your bag with them. Also, that eliminates the risk that your phone is going to start vibrating or ringing as you walk up to graduate, because that would be humiliating. Another thing that I think is really, really important to take with you is safety pins. Now, I meant to bring some as exhibit A for this video and I forgot to bring them with me, and I don't know where any are, but I'll put maybe a little picture of a safety pin here. And that seems like a strange thing to suggest that you take, but graduation robes are not the most comfortable thing in the world. They look pretty cool because they're that sort of iconic, look, this is what I'm wearing, I've got my fancy gown and cape thing on sort of situation, but they are not particularly comfortable because not only are they really heavy, but they are quite slidey. The material of the robes is prone to moving around a lot and sliding around on top of your shirt or your blouse or whatever it is that you're wearing. So if you've got some safety pins, take them with you, and then you can pin the robe. You can find ways to pin like the cape. You pin the cape onto the robe and then the robe onto whatever you're wearing underneath or whatever. Someone will probably be able to help you with that, but bring safety pins because they might not necessarily have them there at the graduation ceremony to lend to you. So if you buy some in advance and make sure you've got them, not only will it be more comfortable for you because you can pin your robes down, but you will be ever so popular with your peers because people will be running around looking for safety pins, and if you can provide them, they will love you forever. There were several people who told me that on graduation day. They were like, oh, I love you, thank you so much, because I had a packet of safety pins in my handbag and I gave some to some people who were struggling. So make sure you have them with you. Another tip is get there in plenty time. I know that sounds really obvious, but I got in a bit of a panic on my way to my master's graduation because I had to be there early and ended up getting stuck in traffic, and then we couldn't find a place to park, and it was just one of those things where you go, oh no, this is a nightmare. It turned out to be fine. We got there and it was all fine and arrived on time, but that stress is just something that you don't need on the day. And the final thing that I would say about graduation day is just enjoy it. It's such a special day and it's such a momentous day because you've put in all of this hard work over all these years, and it's the culmination of everything that you've been working to. And not only is it marking the end of that part of your academic life, but it's also kind of celebrating that period of your life in terms of your social life and the friends that you've made and the interactions that you've had with people on your course, and all of that's kind of being celebrated in this day. And so I think that it's really important to, even if you are a bit nervous, because it's weird, I felt quite sad on my first graduation day. Actually, in fact, both my graduation days I felt quite sad because I just hated that it was over. I didn't want it to be over. But it is really important to just try and enjoy the day and look at it as this really fun celebration of your achievements and just marking the end of that chapter and the start of a new one. So I really hope that you have enjoyed that video, guys, and if you are about to graduate, congratulations. I really hope that you've had an amazing time at uni and that you have a really, really lovely day when you graduate. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye! It's really important to have things like this on your CV because not only does it show that you have dedication, so you have stuck to something, so even if it is just a summertime job, you've gone out there and found